Welcome to the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson, here with Fred Smoot, the mouth of the South, and Santana Moss, maybe the coolest guy I know.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, who's the coolest guy I know? And it's probably Santana.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's Unc.
You know?
Unc. Yeah.
He was in college. He was already an uncle. Then he didn't know it. He got old time.
Because he's got old. Yeah, he's been old the whole time.
He got old time.
You do.
Old.
Yeah, you do have like an old vibe to you though. Yeah. Like you like like what's that thing like where you just kind of like get the stories and the vibe and the chill.
But this is when we was like 20 and 21. Like he wasn't supposed to be
raised by a lot of older folks.
Yeah,
Man.
I was raised by my grandma raised me too now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was that guy too. I mean,
No, go ahead.
I was that kid that when I was at home, all the older kids would come get me too to play ball. Hey, 18 years old, I'm 11. Like, hey, come on here and play ball. Come on, man, you on my team.
I was the same way with that.
So, I was always around a lot of older guys. That's why I was able to be a leader amongst my
level-headed once you got.
When it was time for me to be that guy amongst the guys my age, I always led because
you did a good job of like breaking us up from fighting at the Playboy All-American thing. You did a good job of
What happened? What happened? What?
Nah, you know how things is, man.
I don't know how things are.
Guys get heated with words, and
you get 24.
You
get 25 of the best top college players, and you take them and you put them in one room.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some verbal sparring right there.
Smoot just talks so much trash. Smoot ain't never really want to fight nobody.
I know.
Smoot gonna talk so much trash to where you don't want to fight Smoot.
Yeah.
and you can't fight him because it's like you just laughing inside, but you hurt because he might have said something about you.
But the truth hurts. I'm only gonna say the truth.
I know.
And me and Freddie Millins always had this thing. Yeah. All right?
Freddie Millins, who's that?
He was a popular football player at Alabama, but he was from Mississippi.
Okay.
Pretty good.
And he played wide receiver, and they were giving him all the Heisman love and stuff like that. So he came in there with that swag, and I'm like, man, you stink. All right. Last time I played you had as many catches as a dead man. Then, because I got 10 of them, they're like, nah, that's a wide receiver.
Hey.
That's a wide receiver.
Yeah,
you can't even run routes. You a glorified running back.
Oh my gosh.
No, because all he caught was slip screens.
Yeah.
And he would take them to the house.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, when the last time you ran a 15-yard comeback? Like when you ran a dig.
I like how he said that. Like you said, you were trying to get him mad.
All under his skin.
Yeah.
Smoot was playing mind game with him before he even got in the place. He knew what time it was. But you know what's so crazy about that situation? Like, you hear names. Freddie Millins was bad. Like, they probably had him started in front of me. Like, he was Peter Ward for Alabama.
Really?
Yeah. No, he was bad.
They used to put him at quarterback and just let him run.
So when I got amongst all those guys and started hearing that he just broke down everybody, and now I'm like, I got to watch certain dudes.
Yeah.
Because the other guy who was good, too, he was a cornerback, Fletcher.
Jabbar Fletcher, yeah.
He was so good. And he went in, and everything that they said about him while we was at Playboy All-American, when you watched everybody play, they kind of,
lived up to the hype.
Lived up to the hype. Fred did his thing again.
Yeah.
I had knew about Fred coming in because he was talked about highly. So when I went back and watched Millins, I'm like, I'm listening to what Fred said, and the year wasn't the same. I'm like, damn, Fred in his head. Honestly, like
you think it was that bad?
It went from like
number first round pick to
and you ain't hear about him no more. Like that.
Did he play in the league or no?
They played for Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers,
yeah, but never caught on. Like now in today's
football,
he would be like, stop.
Yeah.
But Fred kind of actually too made a guy like myself, and I know I don't want to be too long on it. Just make sure you come with your A game because he knows everything about everybody.
I'm a study guy.
I knew he was gonna be watching. Like I'm like I got to go out here with my.
The thing is, like, how are you studying people? Like, there was no internet. You were like going.
It was the birth of the internet. We ain't that damn old.
When was this? When was this? How old?
It was 2000, 2001, 99.
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
So
for some reason, I thought this was like 80 something.
Yeah, no. And I did a good job of using my college offices to get any information I wanted. Like I was very much studious like you. Like I want to know everything about this dude so I can really unleash on him.
All right, well, I can't wait to hear what you got to say about the Bills because we got the Bills this week.
All right.
Bills.
That's exciting.
$1 bill, y'all.
First and most important thing we got to talk about is what is this environment going to be like?
Crazy.
I think so,
crazy.
right?
Another sold-out crowd.
I want it to be sold. I want it to be crazy. I want the atmosphere to be. That's what you got to expect also now. You know? I think the one thing we can say too, just to add to what we're gonna have, the Bills travel. They got.
The Bill Mafia will be there
before we even had the change of ownership and all that. I'm pretty sure their tickets was already booked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had to deal with a lot of them going to be there too. But I think it's going to be a great atmosphere just knowing both teams are capable of going out there to have put on a good game,
rock and rolling.
We gonna come away with the W. That's gonna have speaking to existence now.
The home field advantage we haven't had for 20 years is back.
Yeah.
It's worth 3 points in any game. All right, so at the end of the day, if the fans can start that ruckus, talking about a guy like Josh Allen, all he needs is 1 or 2 bad plays to try to start to push and start to make them be a hero. Like, the one thing about Josh Allen, he'll go and start a drive and want it to be a 14-point drive. All right, that don't happen.
I like how you said that.
No, so he would try to get it all back. And I think the fans don't know how much they can impose their will on a quarterback that thinks like that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was watching a little bit of film, and obviously the Jets game was not great for him.
Yeah.
Struggled big time, right?
14-point drive.
They came out against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they were so conservative early. They were almost like trying to take the ball out of his hands, like slow the game down a little bit, like let him get settled in, And so for a guy like that, how do you contain him is my question. Because, like, you watch him, he's got the highest completion percentage in the NFL. It's like 77%, which is crazy high.
Yeah.
He's uber talented.
Yep.
Like, you watch him make throws, bro, and you're just like no one on
Curse
earth.
of the gifted.
Yeah, no one on earth can do that. But then he also goes through fits like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you get him into that state of mind where he's having those
Well,
fits?
you got to take away who his comfortable guy
Yep.
is. Everybody have somebody that they're comfortable with. Diggs. I mean, I think he's what? Josh Allen has probably 70 completions. I say roughly 70 from what I was looking up.
Yeah.
And 16 to 17 of them Diggs scored.
Yeah.
And everybody else just fall in line.
Yeah,
and then somebody got 8. Somebody, you know what I mean? So take away that guy and then say, okay, beat us now beat us with these other guys.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do with guys like Josh.
Yeah.
Also, you take away somebody that he's comfortable with. Now you might get that, Josh Allen that's out there, he's itching to do something, and he goes out there and throw you 1 or 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've seen from just watching the guy, and it's gonna be a sloppy game too.
You make their relationship hard.
Yeah.
Like the one thing we know about Josh Allen, he's combustible when it comes to turnovers.
Yeah.
But his receiver is combustible when it comes to personality and attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm playing
You
this
see
game,
that? You see that of him on the sideline,
listen,
Diggs?
he'll sit over there, Josh talking to him, turning back to him. Like, listen to me. If I can get you there, and I know one thing about Stephon, he gonna want to put on a show on his hometown.
Oh, he's from here. That's right.
From here,
So he
from
gonna want to put a. So I'm telling the DBs right now, we're gonna take him out of here.
Yeah.
If you backside with Gabriel Davis, you got him.
Yeah.
You got him.
Yeah.
But we finna take him out this game, and by halftime, we need to have them bickering.
Yeah.
We need to have them
I was
fighting.
gonna say you gotta have Diggs too rowdy because Diggs Diggs can put on a show on anybody.
Yeah.
So you want to get in a guy like his head early and often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to get him going back and forth with you, to get mad at Josh.
And there we go.
Now you done started the fire.
Yeah, it's crazy because like when you watch the Jets game, for example, like obviously they have a great 4-man rush, the New York Jets do.
Yeah.
So they really create a lot of pressure. But what I did like is Robert Saleh was very aggressive in certain situations with like tight coverages, match, and then also he kind of bounced back and
play zone.
Play zone, and you could see Josh wanting to make a play.
Yep.
And he was trying so hard, but it's this soft zone, and he didn't want to check the ball down.
He didn't want to be patient. You remember like 2 years ago, everybody used to play Pat Mahomes like that?
Yeah.
Like, I give you this 5 yards, but if you're not willing to take this 5 yards, we're going to pick the ball over. We're going to turn it over. That's how you have to play Josh. And as you get closer to the red zone, now you got to play tough, hard cover 2s, hard cover 4s, and make him wait it out. And with this D-line.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
That's the thing that I think changes this.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the D-line real quick. Obviously, we know our guys, but they've got Spencer Brown playing right tackle, who is a guy that is a third-year player out of a small school and is not super consistent as a pass protector. He's like one of those guys that's like hyper athletic, but like never
not technically sound.
Yeah, doesn't have a good feel for like pass pro, like where my angle is, how my hand should be, and so like Max Crosby just put that man in a blender. You know what I'm saying?
But
and
Max Crosby put a lot of people.
And then what Huff, the backup rotational guy for the Jets, also did a good job. So I'm saying, how does he handle Montez Sweat? Osiris Torrance is a rookie from Florida, who's playing pretty good, but he hasn't played anybody like Deron Payne yet.
Jonathan Allen. Yeah. So they got holes on that offensive line, and don't forget that it's also an offensive line that's proven itself to be spotty.
When you watch him, like even Deion Dawkins, who's their left tackle, maybe their best player, he's super inconsistent.
Yeah. Spotty. Like, that's what you get from this offense, and that's why I say Number one thing, take Stephon Diggs out of the game.
Yeah.
Now let's see who y'all are on offense. And I think that's the key.
And just looking at what they did in game 1 and game 2. Game 2, they threw the ball to James Cook a lot out the backfield.
Yep.
That's how they moved the ball a lot. Besides Diggs doing his thing. And then game 2, they got into, I guess you call it, because you know the personnel, 13 when they got two or three tight ends.
No,
So 12 would be 2 tight ends.
So they had 3 tight ends.
So 13.
They had 13. 3 tight ends, and they ran the ball with James Cook. And he's not a guy, he's not his brother.
A B gap guy.
He's an outside guy. Yep. So with that being said, if they're going to have to, add to, when we see those packages, we should automatically think, okay,
Run.
But with that being said, too, I'm sure they got in their head, say, we showed them this, let's pass out of this.
Well,
too. So,
they also have Latavius Murray, and he had a really good game.
He had a good,
and so I'm saying he's a little bit different stylistically.
Than Cook.
Yes, right.
Yeah, he can run between the tackles.
So they gave him, one of the runs I watched earlier today was 13 personnel. Latavius Murray just talking about Denton face mask, dude. He is running downhill hard.
Him and Rodriguez run very much similar to that. So, they change faces on offense. And that's what they try to do. They try to go from spreading you out 3, 4, 5 wide to condensing you in to attack the play.
So I say all that to say this. I'm wondering how this game is going to be, just knowing it's going to be a little sloppy.
It's supposed to, that's a great point. It's supposed to be.
And you would think both teams are going to lean on the run game now to try to, get.
Well, that plays into our hand.
Yeah.
Because the run game does 2 things. It gives your defense time to rest.
Yeah.
But it also makes sure Josh Allen is on the sideline watching the game.
Yeah.
The less plays he play, the more it goes up with our chances to win the game. That's what I call weaponizing the run game.
Yeah.
You weaponize the run game and literally get 25 to 28 rushes. That means you literally probably going to have 20 more plays than the other offense.
Yeah, and so the other thing about Josh Allen I wanted to bring up is he's a guy that seems to excel when he's off schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He seems to excel.
When the play breakdown.
So as a defender, Tana, or no, Smoot, are you trying to keep him in the pocket?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to keep him in the pocket and play those soft coverages? Or are you trying to get after him with the pass rush? Because I feel like it's this weird balance because you want him to be uncomfortable. Yeah. But if you get him off the spot and he's running around doing his thing, he can put the ball anywhere, man.
Yeah. Like Ben Roethlisberger.
Here's the great thing about
it. Big Ben.
The great thing about it is we're not a pressure team. We are a 4-man rush team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that allows us to 4-man rush and back up into zones and still have 7 people to play on the play. So we're fine in that way. But I am telling my defensive ends this week, we're rushing up only to a certain depth.
Yeah.
Then you need to stop and get your hands up.
Yeah.
That's going to be we need to knock down in between 3 or 5 balls.
Yeah.
If you do that, we win this game.
Do you think the plan looks like what they did versus Russell Wilson? Because they had a couple with the spy, they had a couple with it was a 4-man rush, but they're blitzing a backer, they're dropping a defense. Like they had some different
and I'm one of those guys that don't pay too close attention to the different schemes when it comes to those kind of guys, but just from what he was talking about, I watched that against Russell, especially in the second half. When our ends got filled too much, he picked that lane and just ran up out of there. So you would think that their offense looking at that saying this is what we can do on them with a quarterback like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So I'm sure our guys, they're real on those guys, telling them guys, hey, when we get upfield, now condense that pocket, like you want to push them in. So. It's interesting you said that because I never knew that about us just watching it. And you're a defensive guy, so you're watching that differently. Yeah. But when you have a guy like that can be a spy in Jamin Davis and all those guys, you kind of want them. You want them to escape because now I got a guy that can
run you down
and force you to do something stupid with the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, watching Jamin chase down Russell Wilson, he's something, man. Like athletically,
you got to watch out for a play like. Simply, them going 4 wide, 5 wide, tight end in there, and them running quarterback draws. When you do that, you make it to where you paralyze the coaching from calling different things, and that's what he want to do. Even if they don't want no yards out the quarterback draw, they want to let you know this is a hot play today, we're gonna use this plus screen plays to slow down this pass rush y'all got at home.
And they did against. Las Vegas, they did run some really cool draws, like kind of sprint draws where the front side guards hooking the 3 technique and they're making these huge creases.
Yes.
And I will say, they have really wide splits on offense, right, which is sometimes beneficial for guys like Payne who can win one-on-ones, but it creates a lot of air, especially in those 4 wide receiver sets. So that'll be really interesting. Another interesting matchup is Dalton Kincaid. That's our first-round pick from Utah.
Yeah.
Interesting guy there. Who matches up with him?
You brought up, I was going to say Jamin Day, but you made me think of something. He's going gonna probably be spying most of the day, so it'll be Cameron Curl.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that you can say, this your job all week. We ain't thinking about you. Like you worry about the tight end position. Make sure they don't get nothing there. I'm feeling I could go in with a game plan like that and know that it's gonna be okay. Because Cameron Curl playing high level football right now.
He looks good.
So and then I could also do a lot of run robber. I could do a lot of
well,
run
also
robber.
like St. Juice could match up with him.
Yeah, St. Juice could match up with him. But also, if you do that with St. Juice, where's Cameron Curl in that play call?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's the thing about it is he's been great in the post or in that like kind of lurk role. You know, he almost has an interception against Arizona kind of playing in that lurk bracket position. So I think that's something that they have flexibility with that. And so to me, and then you mentioned this too, Cook is the other guy that, like, how do you account for him? Because he was very explosive and productive against Las Vegas.
He's one of the guys that you almost think that we would use somebody that can, has the speed to keep up with him. You know, I don't want to see a linebacker. Sometimes we end up having our linebackers on guys like that, but I would hope that we have our either that kind of play that we play. What it's called again? Y'all know it so well when we have the safeties on the field.
Like the dime packages.
Hopefully we have one of those guys that's picking him up out the backfield because
he's basically a receiver. Yeah.
We not sure, how much of a dose they're gonna give him out the backfield, but I think he's more of that kind of running back. You know what I mean?
But
he's
it's gonna be wet. You brought it up. It's gonna be wet.
But screen game, little dump. You know one thing about this league, they gonna throw the ball regardless.
No, they gonna throw the ball regardless.
You gonna catch the ball.
But if I'm looking at James Cook versus this defensive line, who's gonna wear down first?
Yeah,
it's gonna be James Cook.
But they don't use him like that though. It's like they find ways to get him touches in space, touches to the perimeter. Like we talked about, obviously Denver did the same thing, right? Touches to the perimeter. I think he's the guy that can do that. And then also touches catching the ball out of the backfield. Yeah. And so that's where I think Tanner brings up a good point. It's like he's not like a receiver. Like they don't use him like lining up out there like that, but he does run choices. He does run angles. He does run slants. So you got to have someone who can match that skill set.
No, most definitely. You got to have somebody, but you do it as a collective because like I told you, Josh Allen has dictated for the coordinator what you cannot run. Forget what you can run. We're going to be in more zone than we are man-to-man. Right? And it's going to be simply because we cannot turn our back to Josh Allen. Yeah. So that paralyzes you in your call plays. You can't run two-man, so you can't run two-man under. You can only run, if you're going to run man, it has to be legit straight man-to-man with the two hole guys, the safeties, being able to come down. Other than that, it's going to be zone blitzes, cover 2, and cover 4.
Yeah. All right, that's a pretty good breakdown of what the Bills bring offensively. Let's talk about what our offense is going to see versus their defense. Yeah. Okay? So, first off, they've got a lot of draft capital invested in their defensive line. Ed Oliver, Rousseau, AJ FNS is a second-round pick. Floyd is hurt. At least he was hurt earlier this week. We don't know if he's going to play or not. He's a former first-round pick. How do you feel about that matchup with regards to our offensive line versus that defensive front?
It's all about the speed that Buffalo got. The speed on the edges give us problems. All right? And I think the great part about it, because we have played 2 games, we know where our weaknesses are. Yeah. All right, so we know where their strengths are, our weaknesses are. So if I'm Coach Bieniemy, I come out and I run at these defensive ends. I run off tackle at these defensive ends. I wear them down so when we get to third down, pass rushing won't be at 100%. Yeah. And because they get up the field so much, I would not be shocked if we saw a lot of tight end screens, a lot of quick bubble screens against this team.
Yeah, I'm going to say, but their strength, they want to pass rush when they had your boy playing, Von Miller. He's not around. So now their strength is being mostly in the inside, all right?
So, Ed Oliver's an interior defensive player.
Yeah, but he's not the biggest.
So, again, he's a small guy. When he came out, everyone compared him to Aaron Donald because of the body type. But, again, I think he's not that player.
You can run at him.
Yeah. You can run at him. But then, like, Greg Rousseau's a big man. He's from Miami, I think.
Right? Tall, 6'6".
Yeah. But, I think, Tanner, you bring up an excellent point there. Like, they want to rush the passer, but they don't have – all those guys are relatively young. Yeah. They're relatively raw. They haven't really developed the way I think they were hoping. And Vaughn was that guy.
This pass rush, we got 10 sacks. This pass rush got 3. They got as many as Montez Sweat. All right, so they're having problems to get to the passer. So what do you do as a coordinator when you do that? You start to panic and start to call blitzes.
I mean, I don't think that's who they want to be because obviously the defensive coordinator.
But when you have safeties, defensive coordinator is the head coach.
Yeah,
right? The head
Sean
coach.
McDermott.
Also, he used to coach under Coach Rivera. Yeah. But now we got Coach Bieniemy, which he don't know this offense like he would have known the Scott Turner offense. So the thing about it is, if I got Michael Hyde at safety. I got Tre'Davious White out there.
Yeah.
I'm saying we can handle these guys man to man, but if we don't add somebody to the rush, we will not get home.
Yeah. I always think of that Carolina defense as being like that more conservative cover three. Obviously, they've changed and it's got some more man principles, but they do want to. When I look at the defense and the way it's built, I feel like they want to play with a lead. Right?
They used to play with a lead.
Yeah, they want to play with a lead. They've got really good coverage guys who aren't necessarily like the best tacklers. Yeah. They've got Mike Milano in the middle, who's an excellent football player.
He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has.
Excellent. I think they linebackers got they leading the team with picks right now.
Milano, they are. No, Mike Milano stays around the ball. He's the guy I'm worried about because he's the guy that can not only get out to the passer when he's rushing the A and the B, he's the guy that can actually get out there and take our tight end away by himself.
Yeah. So they want to do that. So I think that's an interesting philosophy there, is if you were to run at them, they're a little bit undersized, they're fast, but like, can you put it in a phone booth a little bit and kind of make it sloppy, make it messy?
How many times can the DBs keep hitting B-Rob?
Because, you mentioned, what's his name? Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde's on the injury report. Yeah. Jordan Poyer. But, like, they're good tacklers, but they're not like big guys.
Yeah. They're not hitters. Yeah. They're tacklers.
Yeah. So what if you were to just kind of lean on them a little bit?
Yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, you got to have one of those games. You got to have one of those games too, man. We got to make a statement and say this is how we're going to play at home. You know what I mean? And I think when you watched how those guys flew around at our first home game, that's what they showed. They end up saying that this is who we're going to be. And they took that, it carried over and went to Denver. Yeah. And they didn't play like that the first half, but they did it in the second half. So we got to set the tone early as a defense to show those guys. And I'm talking about our defense, but offensively too. Offensively, I don't think we really show who our identity. We don't have an identity right now.
We whatever we need to be.
We dictate whatever. I mean, whatever you guys are showing us, we're going to basically say this is how we're going to run our offense because of what you're giving to us. We want to be the dictators on both sides. But I think offensively, these guys, the reason I like, this offense that came from Kansas City is because you can actually just be somebody different every week. You can go out there and say
it's a different style every week.
I'm gonna be heavy with my tight ends, or I'm gonna be heavy in the passing and the receivers. Yeah. Or you know what? Matter of fact, we're gonna screen game you to death because you're giving us.
Because we can't block you up. Like it's whatever you have to give us right now. And when you play a good team with a good offense, I'm telling you, the run game is your best friend. Yeah. The run game shortens the game. Think about when we beat Philly last year. Mm-hmm. We shortened that game. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, the reason he have his stats, because he didn't play enough. Mm-hmm. You want to beat these guys, be Rob, it will be Antonio Gibson, Rodriguez will be the reason we beat them. This won't be one on the outside. Mm-hmm. This will be one in 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit because I do think you have to run the football, but you also have to get first downs. Yeah. Like, so when I was in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, he wants to run the ball. Like, that's like a big part of that offense. It's a big part of the play action, keepers, all that stuff, kind of using it to set stuff up. One of the things he said is like, you get these statistics where it's like, if we rush the ball for 25 times a game, we win the game. He's like, that's a nonsense statistic.
It is.
Because we've possessed the football enough to run that many offensive plays. Yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think like as much as people say, we got to run the football, we need to do something to have offensive efficiency. Mm-hmm. And I think in the second half of that game against Denver, running the football, screens was the answer. Yeah. But in this game, it might be quick game. It might be whatever.
So do you think it's more of should we find a way to be balanced? Because if you think about what coaches spoke on last week, he said that's what he thought that helped our offense be efficient. Ron said that. Yeah.
I don't care about the ratio.
I'm not a ratio person. Stood out in that game to me. I just feel like we made plays.
Yeah, I've been saying
that's kind of what I'm saying.
It's like
made plays. I don't care about ratio.
It's not so much we got to run the ball. It's like we got to convert on first down or on third down, right? We got to be efficient on first down. What does that look like? Because like for example, I was watching the Bills Vegas game. Yeah. And they come out, the Bills do, and you can tell they're really worried. They run the ball twice. It's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and they got to throw the ball, and everybody in the stadium knows what's happening. You get an exotic blitz package. That's not setting the quarterback up. Yeah. That's not setting the offense up to be successful. Yeah. If you can get to 2nd and 5, we get to 3rd and 1, we get a first down on 2nd down. That's what I think. That's what people need to understand. It's like the running game becomes synonymous with possessing the football. Yeah. But you can you can't possess the football just running the ball.
No, you're right, and I should have used another word for that and just said we need to win the time of possession. Yeah, whoever wins the time of possession wins this game. Yeah, that's right. Especially with the weather, Mother Nature having something to do with it.
And so that's where I'm kind of curious to cut you out. Like, is do you have to run the ball because of the weather?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes Mother Nature dictates what we have to do, and especially when I consider us. If I had to look at these two teams and say who's the better running team, we would be the better running team. Yeah. Plus, we are at home, and we understand our turf better than they understand our turf. And like you said, quick passing game. Yeah. But that's what I want the defense to think. I'm finna go quick passing game. Yeah. Now I'm finna double move you. Like it's everything plays off each 100%. Other. So So
I think we're saying the same thing, and I think to Tana's point, like ultimately it comes down to making plays. Can he be put the guys in position to make plays? And that is running and passing. I think this is what we're saying. It's like it's not just go out here, let's put the middle bar down the face mask and put the neck roll on and get after it.
Get Tom Raffler in the backfield. Let's get this thing done.
Donut on your neck.
No. I was just saying, like, if I look at this game in a nutshell, I'm like, well, we defeated them. Why did we defeat them? Because Josh Allen had to sit on the sideline most of the game.
And again, like you bring up the Philly game, and like they were pretty consistent run. Yeah. But the thing that made that offensive performance excellent was third down. Yeah. They were incredibly sharp, especially in the first half. So just wanted to bring that up. So another one that's interesting is Logan Thomas may or may not play. We don't know yet. Who steps up and fills his shoes, and what can we expect from that backup?
Turner and Bates. It's going to be a duo three. Duo three. I mean, I think Turner's been doing a fabulous job with the little reps that he's getting, but Bates actually stood up and showed last week that we can trust in him. So I think that's only going to bring more opportunity for Bates. You know what I mean? Like that pass downfield. Yeah. The one I know he won't back is he did a little sit down.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And he tried to go too fast. We all have those problems.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a pass catcher, you done been in those shoes before where you trying to
get ahead and start
turn up
before you got the ball.
I know he probably was kicking himself. Like, man, this is the easiest catch I probably would have had all game. Yeah. But he still showed us that he's a guy that you can lean on.
Well, Bates 50-50. When he's in the game, we could be running, we could be passing.
He's done a great job.
He does a great job of not undressing the offense. Like the one thing we do know, when certain people come in, certain things finna happen. Now, Cole, he needs to get better at his run blocking. So when he does come in, it ain't all pass alert. Yeah. But no, I'm looking for him to go make. This is a tight end game. If it starts raining and it's nasty, it becomes a running back, offensive line, tight end game.
Do you think Curtis is up this week if Logan's not playing? Curtis Hodges?
He has to be up.
Gotta be.
He has to be. He has no other choice.
I forgot
he's
about
up.
Curtis.
No. He has to be up if Logan is not there. So it's one of them things, like I say, it becomes a phone booth game.
Yeah. All right. So this is a good question by the producer. What are our advantages in this game, in your opinion, offensively and defensively?
Home field is one.
Okay, all right.
Let's go with the crowd. We finally got a home field.
Home field is one.
Yep.
Two, I would say we're not a team that, like I just spoke about. I don't know about worded it right. We don't have something that the defense can come and say, we're going to hang our hat on.
No, we need to take them away.
The Bills defense for our
Bills,
offense.
The Bills can't come in and say, well, they're going to run the ball on us. Yeah. You don't know what we're going to do. You don't know, because we show that we can be efficient.
Unpredictability is
one of the things that I've noticed, and just from what I say, I get a kick out of watching these guys a little more than say just talking off of something you read or something you saw, live. It's hard to really, dictate what's going on. When you watch them now, it seems to me that EB is putting our young quarterback in great spots, great situations where he's moving the ball to the point that's getting them in short, second and short, third and short. So how we got there, we in a situation now to where I don't have to worry about dropping him back, trying to heave this ball down the field and make a first down. Yeah. We putting them in those areas where whatever play I design up, whether we run the ball, whether we give a dump off, we're going to accomplish them couple of yards that we need. So I just think it's about how he's calling the plays on first and second down that's getting the quarterback in a comfortable state where he don't have to be a hero. You know what I mean? And so I think that's going to be vital for what we do this week. Knowing it's going to be sloppy, how we, go out there and say, should we screen them? Knowing when you could throw a screen in wet grass, those guys got to run and try to stop those linemen and all that stuff. It's going to be hard for the defense to know what's going on all the time. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to be watching to see how we go about that bit. But I think those two are our advantages.
I think we got the advantage in a couple of spots, especially when you go positional.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. You go positional. They got to set quarterback. That ain't one of those things. Our quarterback is just too young, to go head to head with this guy, follow his stats and stuff like that. I think we got the best. We got the better running backs. Both our O-lines, I can see being comfortable to each other, but maybe we're a tad bit better. Tight ends, I think that's a wash right there. DBs, linebackers, I think they're very talented. Like we're very talented on there. But I would say
I might get him a nod linebacker.
Yeah.
I get him a nod linebacker, but I give us the nod at defensive back.
Yeah.
I think we got a deeper group. All right, I think because they got Tre'Davious White, they got their number one. We got our number one corner. They got their safeties, and we got safeties. Flo ain't to be played with. Right. But then you bring in a Percy Butler, and then you bring in a St. Juice, and then like we keep running them out of there. Mm-hmm. Like I truly don't know if they secure opposite of Tre'Davious White. Sure. I think whoever that corner is on that other side, you know how y'all get that corner and say we finna put that work in, and y'all run like new wide receivers out there every other play.
Yeah,
I think it'll be that type of warfare over there. Then with it being at home. Mm-hmm. I think we have unique advantages in that. I think the coaches watch each other out, but the unpredictability of our offensive coordinator. Not enough film on him yet. Not enough habits giving out yet. Mm-hmm. That's the advantage. And I have to say, special teams gives the nod to us.
Oh, yeah?
Tressway, it gives the nod to us. Because we have those minute on-paper victories, I think it gives us a chance to edge this one out.
Yeah. For me, it's defensive line. Like, I mean, that's our bell cow, right? And they got to play well. If they play well, that gives us a shot. If they don't play well, it's going to be a long day for us, I think. Because I think we are very talented at the back end. Our linebackers are talented, but I think when you look at Josh Allen and what he does, like you got to unsettle him. And the best way I know how to do that is with a 4-man rush, drop into coverage, give him some different looks, but get those coverage players back out there so you're not in these one-on-one matchups. Offensively, Tanner, I think you bring up a great point. Like, what's the tool?
Yeah.
Like that flexibility is nice because as much as you want to say the Buffalo offense is really dynamic.
Yeah,
it's very specific.
Yeah,
we got to throw the ball. We want to spread it out. We can't really bring it in tight.
Yeah,
and I think we can do both right now. And so I think that flexibility is something that's going to be really dangerous for us. Okay, so I think that's a good recap of that. All right, so now let's do this. What are the matchups to watch? We're going to do it WWE style, okay?
All right.
You ready? Fred, you requested this, so let's get it going. All right. So table match. What is a table match, by the way?
I think table, when they break the table, I jumped on the table the other day.
Yeah, you did. Check that out on Command Center, by the way.
When you in a cage match and somebody come in with a chair, somebody come in with a table, that means it's finna get rough and rugged. I got to call Jimmy Superfly Snooker for this one right here.
Junkyard dog.
Junkyard. I'm about to get dirty. I'm about to get my knees dirty in here. So I'm going to say, you just brought it up, trench warfare.
So I got something for you, though. Let me say. So Sam Howell versus Buffalo's DBs in a table match. Who's winning that? Who's getting slammed through the table? Who's standing up on top with hands up in the air?
Well, here go the thing about it. Sam, if he start the match off, he can always tag Terry in there.
Oh, I like it. Look at this guy.
And then if he can't tag Terry in there because maybe Tre'Davious White on him, he gonna go tag Jahan Dotson. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the options. Like how long can they keep matching up?
Yeah.
Because once we go past Dawson, we still got Curtis Samuels.
Yeah.
Once we go to Curtis Samuels, we still got Gibson out the backfield, B-Rob out the backfield. We still got tight ends.
Got a lot of weapons.
I'm going with Sam and his group.
Yeah.
And his group, because when you look at the group, right, it feels different, right, Tim?
Yeah, when they go,
I mean, it's just obvious. I think you can talk about Pringle, you can talk about Diami. You know, we
got
so many guys that we can put in there and Trinkle and all that. And just to add, they do have a pretty deep core too in their secondary. But I think we have more names that can, like our names against theirs they probably have 2 or 3 guys, and we have
they're top heavy.
About
they're
5
very
or 6
top
guys.
heavy on their defensive side. With one of their safeties might miss the game.
Yeah,
Don't know where he's gonna play.
Yeah.
So I love when guys limp into the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I knew Jerry Jeudy wasn't gonna have no effect on the game last week. You ain't practiced, you ain't played. Yeah. Right? So it's one of them things where who can outlast who?
Yeah.
I'm putting my money on Sam and our guys.
Yeah. All right, so next one. I agree. I think Sam, he's done a great job. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot.
Stay clean.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. Is like in this matchup where we're tagging our buddies in.
Yeah.
Like what if the Buffalo DB's tagging that defensive line? And the defensive line gets after our offensive line. Like that's something I got to kind of keep an eye on, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the O-line is playing better than people think. Because
they are.
But I also think like that, like we've seen, like if they're not on,
they can get out there, especially around the edges.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All right, so let's go cage match. All right. Cage match. Shady, you want to start this one off?
Cage match.
Just to bother Fred a little bit.
Forbes
versus Diggs. And I don't know if it's going to be a straight one-on-one matchup. Obviously, it's Forbes, but I think that's going to be something interesting to see because Diggs is exceptional.
Yeah. And I'm a receiver, and I gotta tell it how it is, man. Forbes is a guy that I feel like up and coming. That couldn't be that dude. But I don't want to see him in a cage match with Diggs.
Yeah.
I don't want to see us leaving our young buck out there
just by himself.
You know what I mean?
He ain't ready for that.
He gonna need all his help that he can get. But I do believe when you try him and think that he gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
That's where he bites you. You know what I mean? I've seen him play last week, the week before, when they tried him and thought it was sweet. He has one of those things. We just talked about this. Certain DBs they just have a knack for the ball.
Yeah.
They are magnet.
All fan.
You know, and you talked about D Hall. You talked about some other guys.
Dre Bly, Rondé Barber.
He seems to be that guy. I've seen him touch the ball now 4 or 5 times and only have one pick.
Yeah.
So you keep throwing the ball in this area, he gonna burn you. You know what I mean? So I get a knock Diggs, but I don't want to see them just leaving Forbes out there on him. I think it's going to be one of those things where we try to match him up.
I think so too.
Disguise some coverages, and just have some help over the top here and there. But like I say, Forbes will bait you now.
And you can bracket one side. Wherever Stephon Diggs is, that's the bracket
that's
side.
The side you bracket.
You have nobody else on the outside that causes me any threat. Now Gabriel Davis can make plays. He can make plays. He's just not consistent. He's just not consistent with his route running, and that causes him. But my phone booth battle goes to James Cook and Murray versus Barton and Davis.
All right.
Because I believe if we can make them one-dimensional, take the run away, and put the game in Josh Allen's hands. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people.
I don't know if you want to do that.
I do, because it's about this with Josh Allen, volume.
Yeah.
What they did week was cut his volume down.
That's true.
The more the ball is in his hands and throwing things, the more it's going to get to the point where he's going to make a mistake. He's going to turn the ball over, trying to change the game in one play because he has the ability to do that. If Jamin Davis can do 2 things, be that spy.
Yep.
Also take James Cook out of this game. Make it one-dimensional, especially with nasty weather.
Yeah.
I want it in Josh Allen's hands, and I think between this D-line, Mother Nature, and just his nature of being wild with the ball, we're going to get turnovers.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, to your point with Forbes, Tana, and Diggs, that's interesting to me because, what if you tag in the defensive line in that matchup? You know, how does that positively affect him? And for the linebackers, what if you tag in the defensive line? Because I really think that is the ultimate trump card for this defense, right? When you got 4 dudes plus James and Casey, plus Abdullah, plus Ridgeway, who's playing good football, when all those guys are cooking, I don't care how good your quarterback is, if you can get pressure on the quarterback and limit the exposure of some of these other positions, I think you're going to be in a very, very good spot.
And that's why we need those guys to come out the starting gate that. You know what I mean? No, they got the starting blocks. We need them to start
they did start a little slow.
Yeah, but that's what you want because you're winning games with stuff to correct.
Yeah.
You're winning.
No, we're not saying it's a bad thing, but I just we're saying it'd be
we're
nice.
Saying that's a valid point he made. When those guys up front doing their thing, we talk about all the time. You don't have to be a phenomenal DB.
Not with a great defensive line. The ball got to come out.
The ball got to come out. So,
and if the quarterback is uncomfortable, quarterbacks makes mistakes. Comfortable quarterbacks make the playoffs.
And we talked about it. When you look at the Jets and what they did to the Bills.
Quentin Williams and the rest of those guys.
They got a ton of pressure. And they were able to kind of insulate that secondary at a really high level. And again, the Solid did a good job of changing stuff up, which I think Jack does anyway. But it really starts, in my opinion, with the defensive front, and if those guys are playing well, I think it elevates Forbes, Fuller, Cam Curl, all those guys in the back end. Jamin, everyone gets elevated by them being the guy, which is interesting. Is there a position on offense that does that same thing that just elevates everybody? Is it the skill guys or
it's the skill guys? It's the running backs and wide receiver group. I think they are a group, and what I do love about that group, they are Rodney Dangerfield. Nobody respects them. Even as good as Terry's played, nobody still be putting Terry in the top 10 wide receivers. All he goes out to do is get 1,000 yards with Jack Rabbit Johnson at quarterback. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, as long as you disrespecting them, when we come out, you ain't gonna be ready for us. You can't prepare for a storm that is coming from all different places. But if this was just a Terry McLaurin storm, we can figure out how to do that and take you out the game. But when it's all of y'all, when it's ants on bread, it make it hard for people to eat.
And they, like I said before, the running backs nor the receiver core haven't scratched the surface yet because everybody's getting a chance.
So nobody's blowing up stat wise.
So it's like one of those things. We just gonna keep cutting you with a
paper cuts, a million paper cuts.
Like a million paper cuts. We got so many
That's a great point.
That we can lean on you with, to where you ain't gonna know, you gonna have a solution for it.
Not especially situational. Like football is situational.
Yeah.
Like you don't know where we're going situational.
Yeah, that's a good point. It goes back to your same thing. Tools in the toolbox, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Fred, are you doing a barbecue this weekend?
Yes, we're doing the alumni barbecue tailgate. I'm gonna be out there in every.
Are you cooking? You said you were cooking.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Hey, first of all, you know
I bet not see him touch a lick of meat without no gloves.
Hey, listen to me. I am gonna be out there working that stove like Young Jeezy.
Who's out there? Is it like it's an old?
Every generation gonna have, like, let's just say the 90s.
Yeah,
they'll have two, 3 people working the grill, plus
So
like a
B-Mitch
military
be out there
guy.
grilling a little bit.
B-Mitch gonna be out there chopping it up. So, you know, like every generation gonna have their guys out there. It should be good. We're gonna have a lot of fun out there. It's the first one in the parking lot. I got you all the information. Don't you worry about it. And it's gonna be fun because we let the fans do it with us too. So it's gonna be fun.
All right. So are you gonna jump through a table?
I already jumped through a table this weekend. My back hurts.
His back hurts, but I'm saying, like, if Bill's Mafia's out there and they're jumping through tables, you like,
I will jump through a table if we win this game.
No, you will not. Don't even put that out there, Fred.
And then I want you to put a Joe Gill cloth on it, and I'm just jumping all through it. I'm with it. If we go 3-0, I'm jumping through the table.
Fred in here on Tuesday, just like with a back brace on, and like a neck thing on.
Don't need. I'm 170.
Well, no, you probably like 200 now.
Oh yeah, I actually look like a football player now.
Yeah,
like when I
up
played, I did not look like. I look like the point guard for the Wizards.
All right, so before we leave, we got to do game predictions.
Yep.
Scores, game predictions.
Yeah.
You want to start, Tanner?
Yep.
Yeah, I started. I say Commanders win.
Okay.
Sloppy game. 19-17.
Ooh, nice.
I actually like that score quite a bit.
This is actually a pretty good score.
Yeah.
I'm going with the oddity, too. I like where he's going. I'm going a step lower than that. I'm going 17-12. Washington gets the win.
Is that score got me?
17-12 because I feel like they're going to end up kicking 4 field goals for the Bills. We're going to have a defensive touchdown or either a special team touchdown that breaks this game right open. FedEx Field explodes, and we run Josh Allen, Keister right out of FedEx Field.
Keister, huh?
It's good. That's all I'm telling you.
I done heard that way too many times.
I mean, I kind of think the Bills are the better team because they got the better quarterback.
I would say they got the better quarterback. They are not position for position the better team.
I guess that's a good point. So I'm going to go. Shoot, I want to go Buffalo, but I don't want to go Buffalo.
Do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, do it. If that's who you are, you do it. That's what you feel. Hey, you call out how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, go on, say it. 20-15, you going for the Bills. You think, no, you're not going for the Bills.
I'm going to say it's going to be 27-24, the Bills win, is what I'm going to say.
All right. Well, you want to bet that? A lunch?
I'll bet you lunch.
All right. Straight up, though.
Yeah, straight
no points. All right.
No points, straight up.
And I ain't talking about McDonald's.
What do you want for lunch?
We going to have lunch at DC Prime.
Oh boy!
I want some dead cow.
Hey, if you ain't getting McDonald's, Logan gonna buy you a jersey. No,
Logan gonna go into DC Prime, buy me a used steak.
Buy that $2
2
steak.
bites off of it.
Bring in my belt. We'll cook that belt up on the grill.
Oh man!
All right, let's go do it for us for today.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Make sure you guys tune in to all of our flagship programming on the YouTube page, and make sure you continue to subscribe to this podcast. Thanks so much.
Way to play injured.